none of what we're saying is extreme. It's not hateful. You know, obviously I say things on my show that are outrageous or sensational because that's the medium, that's the internet. You know, I have a show that is somewhat comedic and hyperbolic. But when you have these conversations, you see that it is productive. People learn things they didn't know before. They hear a perspective they didn't hear before. And they have to have the police, like, fuck with us. They have to have the police arrest us or, you know, issue no trespass or whatever to prevent it from happening. It's ridiculous. And everybody's come up to me saying, you know, I don't even agree with you in a lot of cases, but they're treating you in a totally absurd or ridiculous fashion. So I mean, that's what I have to say. Everybody knows that at this point. America First is rising. They can't beat us because the truth is on our side, and we're more talented than them. This guy, yeah. Nice to meet you. Yeah, so, and even, it's so funny, they call us racist, and like, half of these people aren't even white, and they're like, yeah, like, we hear what you're saying, blah, blah, blah.
And Charlie Kirk, that he promotes capitalism, while these other people are promoting socialism. So you rather fund the capitalism than the socialism.
But, I mean, that's in theory,
okay.
But in practice, Foster Freed gives $5 million to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Because he knows Charlie Kirk will advance his interests. You know, it's the same reason, like Sheldon Adelson, another one of the biggest donors. He gives millions of dollars to Donald Trump, and then Donald Trump does all this stuff for Israel because Sheldon Adelson is in favor of it.
They don't own the sidewalk. You guys don't own the sidewalk. It's called public property.
Jack
Agent Poso.
That's Agent Poso. Worldwide. Agent Poso. Can we get a hand? Thank you for your service.
Hero. So,
An American hero. He's keeping us safe.
So, but I mean, come on. Isn't the enemy of my enemy my friend?
Not always. Because, I mean, when we look at these people, I think they're all kind of working together. Democrats and Republicans.
How are they all working together? They don't trade emails with each other, do they?
Well, they might in some cases. But, I mean, let's take a look at immigration, for example. You know, why does the left want immigration? We know it's because it's vote harvesting.
Yeah.
They bring in millions of immigrants from Texas, Arizona, Georgia, Florida. It's turning all these states blue.
Yeah.
Democrats will never lose an election. That's what happened in California.
Exactly.
And Republicans promote mass immigration. But why did they promote mass immigration? Because the donors get cheap labor from mass immigration.
How do Republicans promote mass immigration?
Well, like Charlie Kirk, for example. He's a Republican. He's a supporter of the president.
Now. Charlie Kirk supports legal immigration.
Sure.
Yes.
But
that's different than just unfeathered illegal immigration from across the border and having anger babies, right?
On some level.
One is orderly and the other one isn't.
I wouldn't say that's true. I would say that on some level there are some superficial differences. But ultimately, let's look at voting, for example. Legal immigrants. If you look at Hispanics, this is from Pew Research, 1 in 10 legal Hispanic immigrants identify as Republican. 1 in 10, okay? That's virtually the same as illegal immigrants, so it has the same effect.
Okay.
Moreover, legal immigrants are still taking American jobs. You know, there's a finite number of jobs at any given time. When they come in and take them, I mean, that's a job that an American can do, you know? And moreover, you know, the people that are giving money to Charlie Kirk actually has a legal immigration proposal. It's more liberal than Silicon Valley. Charlie Kirk says we should staple green cards to diplomas. And I want you to look this up if you remember this when you get home, because it's very interesting. Joe Biden, I think Elizabeth Warren, all kinds of Democratic politicians have used the exact same phrase. We should staple green cards to diplomas. Very interesting.
Meaning that we want immigration.
Joe Biden, I think Elizabeth Warren.
Our society. White people want to actually work and have educated. Meaning that we want.
Well, maybe they're going to work, but the point is, Joe Biden together. Well, Joe Biden and Charlie Kirk have, the verbatim same talking point: stapling green cards to diplomas.
Okay.
Legal immigrants are voting Democrat.
So why do people seem to have a problem with you then? What's the biggest thing?
Well, here's the problem.
Is that you're attacking, conservatives on?
I think Elizabeth Warren. Their problem is that their ideology is indefensible. It's because if they had a conversation with me like you're having right now, people would get exposed to these ideas, and they wouldn't come to these things. They wouldn't come to hear Charlie Kirk say, "Boom, homosexual marriage is passed in Botswana. That's a great thing." They wouldn't come here to say,
he said that?
Yeah, on Twitter. They wouldn't come here to see him say, "We need to staple a green card to every diploma." They wouldn't come here. So that's why they need to say he's a white supremacist. Because when they say that, it means don't listen to him. Don't talk to him. Don't take a picture with him. Don't take his hand. because he's a bad man. But if people, but I mean, you see, do I seem like a racist to you?
No, you don't seem like a racist to me.
Okay.
No,
I mean, I'm a Christian like you. I love all
watered down
people.
term in America anyway.
What's that?
It's the most watered down term in America anyway.
Exactly right. It means nothing, you know?
Just like
Okay. What about the Jews? What about Jewish people? I heard you make some sort of jokes about Jewish.
What joke did I make about Jewish people?
You said Ben Shapiro owns this sidewalk. Right? It's some language, right?
Yeah.
That kind of language, though. I
It's
mean,
hilarious.
do you think that's appropriate?
No, I mean, and I guess appropriate is sort of a subjective term.
Okay.
You know, a lot of what I do is a little tongue-in-cheek. It's hyperbolic. It's meant to be funny.
Okay.
If I was in a formal debate with Ben Shapiro, I would not make a joke like that.
Okay.
And you would hate Jesse Lee Peterson, by the way.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because this guy's Christian. We love him.
I mean, yeah.
But
So you don't hate you don't hate Jews, right?
No.
If you see a Jewish person walking down the street, you're not going to be all like,
no. I don't hate Jews. I have great friends that are Jews.
So why are these rumors about you and all that? Where did it come from? Are they?
Because he plays Grand Theft Auto.
Well, I told you it's because of these views. The
wow.
legal definition of anti-Semitism is not hating Jews.
Okay.
I mean, we all think that. You know, if I say I'm not anti-Semitic, what does that mean? I don't hate Jews, which I don't.
Yeah.
But that's not the legal definition.
Okay.
The legal definition of anti-Semitism is, for example, if you say that some Jewish people have allegiance to Israel.
Yeah.
Well, do Jewish people have an allegiance to Israel?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's the legal definition of anti-Semitism. If you say...
Repeat that to me. If you say that Jewish people have a alliance with
anti-Semite
Israel,
now.
allegiance. Any kind of allegiance to
to Israel, then that is anti-Semitism? Mm-hmm. Well, what does it mean to be? I guess I don't know what it means to be anti-Semitic.
Well, that's just it. It means
Oh.
it means whatever they want it to
Everything
mean.
and nothing.
And that's what Ben Shapiro said. I tweeted it. It's very funny. If you go back into the record, I think in 2017, I actually used to be close with a lot of people that worked for Ben Shapiro. Cassie Dillon, Elliot Hamilton, Aaron Bandler. I used to be friends with all those guys. They didn't want to talk to me. They blacklisted me because I started asking too many questions about Israel. I said, how did they get all this money? Why? Can you explain the Levant affair? Can you explain all this? And so I tweeted about Ben Shapiro. I said, you know, I want to put America first. If you come here and you put China first, you're Chinese. I said, if you come here and you're Jewish, you put Israel first.
Yeah.
I said, that's not America first.
Exactly.
Ben Shapiro quote tweeted me 2 years ago directly on Twitter. And he said, accusing any Jew of dual loyalty is the purest form of anti-Semitism. That's what he told me.
But they do have dual loyalty.
Okay?
I mean, because Israel.
That's why they call me an
is a-
anti-Semite. Isn't that insane?
I think that is.
behind that comes from Nazi Germany because they were accused of dual loyalty. In that sense, that's what Hitler used to justify what he did. He said Jews are more loyal to the cause of Zionism.
But is it
That's
true
why
or
we
not?
should kill it. That's where the dual loyalty thing started.
But is it true or not?
Is it true?
Well, I mean, is it true
that's
that
what they
is it
did.
true that some Jewish people have allegiance to Israel? Is that true or not?
They definitely do.
Okay. And
Why
that's
do
what
you
I'm
think
saying.
that is?
Well, I know it is. I think it's very logical for them. But then why is it anti-Semitic to say that? I mean, you said that, well, there's a history.
It's anti-Semitic when you use that as a way to attack
Do you have a
Jews.
pin that has the Israeli flag
Yes,
on
I
that? I
do.
just want to make sure. Okay.
Yes, it's a Christians United for Israel thing.
Oh, Christian.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Christians United for Israel.
So I mean, so it doesn't.
Which is not
seem
run
to
by
me
Christians, by the way.
That's not anti-Jew to say that Jews have an allegiance to Israel.
And put yourself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Why do you think they would have an allegiance to Israel? They had 2/3 of their entire population
Exactly,
eradicated.
yeah.
And then Israel was formed 2 years later. Do you not think that maybe the idea of Zionism started with Theodore Herzl in the early 1900s?
Okay.
And
But that's not an anti-Israel thing to say.
no, it's anti-Semitic when
Okay.
you use dual loyalty as a way to actually belittle or dehumanize Jews.
Well, I've never
That's fair enough.
demonized
I don't know if you've done that. I'm not saying you have, but that's what's very controversial because that's what Hitler used to garner support for his cause.
Well,
Hitler
yeah,
did a
I
lot of
know.
Okay, yeah, and that's just it.
Yeah.
Of course, context is always what matters. And in the context of what I say, I've never said anything like that to dehumanize anybody. I've never advocated for anything, like that, anything like, Nazi-like. I simply said, as Americans, we must put America first.
Yes.
I'm an American. That's what the president says. I want to put America first. And Ben Shapiro says that's anti-Semitic to say. Because if you say that everybody else should feel the same way, you're accusing them of dual loyalty, whatever else. But that's where that comes from, and sure.
Ah.
So,
You know what's anti-Semitic is denying the atrocities of the Holocaust.
which I've never done.
Oh, you never done? You never said that 6 million Jews didn't die in the Holocaust?
I never said that.
That the cookies, we were able to cook 6 million cookies in the ovens?
That was a joke that I made on my show. I made
that-
that very clear. Did you ever see that clip?
Yes,
The
I
whole
saw the
clip?
full,
The whole clip where after that I said, that's ironic, that's a joke. Because I literally said that in the clip.
Well, Jews like my grandparents don't find that funny. Those jokes.
Okay. Are you a snowflake then or something? I mean, I made it was very clearly, maybe it was a distasteful joke, but it was a joke.
If your grandparents went through the same atrocities as the Jewish people, you wouldn't be laughing.
Well,
so
I have pretty thick
loud.
skin. So, in the context of my show, well, here, you come out here from the crowd and you say, well, you know, it is anti-Semitic denying this. And I said, well, he never denied that. You said, well, you made a joke. And I said I made a joke.
Right now saying 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust.
I went on record saying that on the Washington Post. I went on record saying that on Elijah Schaefer's show. He was here a moment ago. I've gone on the record many times saying that. Whatever it says in
I'm
these
Jewish. I went to a Jewish school. They made Holocaust jokes over there. Would you disavow that?
That's not right either.
Well, they did it too. Does that make them
You need to
anti-Semitic?
save
And they're
space.
we live in a free society. We're allowed to make jokes.
Notice the
You're gonna.
Where are they coming from, dude?
I'm live.
Have the right to
I
make
don't care.
whatever jokes
Just letting you know.
should.
Okay, good.
Okay?
Thanks.
And everybody has their own right to opinions.
Yeah.
And that's what America is, and that's why I love America.
Yeah.
You know?
And you have a platform, and you have to be responsible with your platform because hold on.
Would you call him anti-Semite or anti-Jew? Would you say that?
I don't know for sure.
don't
I don't
know
know.
what to call it.
To be honest, I don't
Okay.
know a lot about him.
He makes
I watched
bad
a
jokes,
few
but,
episodes.
yeah.
I watched a few episodes of his
Okay.
show, and I don't agree with you, and that's okay.
That's fine, yeah.
That's fine. But when you make a joke about one of the worst atrocities that happened in Jewish history, and sadly we're seeing it again happen in America on a slow basis.
We're seeing a Holocaust in America?
We're going to see it.
That sounds crazy. That's ridiculous.
We have 2 congressmen already that are very anti-Semitic and very anti-Israel.
Oh, Ilhan Omar.
I don't think
Right.
I didn't say he's responsible for that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't. But
We're
I
not
said
talking about
that
the
if we
right
don't,
side, we're talking
we're
about the
saying
left
we're
side.
saying all. We're talking about all sides. That if you
Luckily, AIPAC
don't
has
stand up
70
against
senators on the napkin,
anti-Semitism
so
and anti-Israel,
we're all right.
anti-Zionism, and anti-Israelism, then you're helping promulgate what Germans did
What
in
is
Israel.
Zionism?
See, this is ridiculous. See, this is ridiculous, though. And that is, but wait. And the attention, people have asked me about this joke I made where I said, oh, you know, the Cookie Monster and all this kind of thing. The reason that I made, and by the way, that joke is not actually about the Holocaust. What the joke is, I mean, the Holocaust is the subject matter in a sense. What the joke is talking about specifically is this number. We all know what I'm talking about. That if you make a joke about the 6 million, if you say it's a little bit less or a little bit more, you're evil. You're evil. It's another. Now it was meant to lampoon this sort of hysterical reaction we see, which is frankly what you're doing right now. I mean, of course, I am against genocide. Of course, we are not in favor of dehumanizing anybody, minorities, Jews, anybody like that. But this kind of hysterical thing, frankly, it sounds like the left because, you know, right after we did our thing with Charlie Kirk, you know who came out and verbatim said Nick Fuentes should be kicked off Twitter. Nick Fuentes should be deplatformed from YouTube. It was the Zionist Organization of
a lot
America.
of people are saying that?
Yeah, the Zionist Organization of America wrote a statement. You can look it up. And they said Nick Fuentes should be deplatformed from everything. And I have it on good authority that it came from Charlie Kirk.
Well, I don't believe